In the valley of Elah, two armies confront each other, an unspoken threat hanging heavy in the air. Subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Help me reach 0 subscribers so we can bring you across the valley. The Philistine army mirrors their stance, a palpable tension stretching between the two forces. The valley lies silent, awaiting the inevitable clash as warriors stand ready. A lone soldier adjusts his helmet, his gaze fixed on the enemy ranks. A commander surveys his troops, his expression a mask of grim determination. The sun beats down on the assembled armies, intensifying the anticipation of the coming battle. Tension grips the Israelite camp as King Saul's restless pacing fills the air. Worry etches deeper lines onto his face with each heavy step. Fearful whispers ripple through the ranks as soldiers huddle together, their eyes betraying their dread. The unspoken dread hangs heavy, a palpable presence among the Israelite warriors. The valley lies silent, awaiting a challenge. Goliath appears, a giant of a man. His armor gleams under the sun. Goliath strides forward, confident and imposing. His shadow falls long and dark. Under a relentless sun, two armies face each other across a chasm. A lone figure emerges from the Philistine ranks. Goliath, a giant clad in gleaming armor. Goliath bellows a challenge that echoes through the valley. Choose a man to fight me. If he wins, we will be your servants. But if I win, you will serve us, Goliath declares, his voice a thunder. Silence descends as the Israelite army contemplates Goliath's challenge. The Israelite camp is a tableau of despair, where the soldiers huddle together, their eyes wide with fear. Saul stands among his men, his posture mirroring their defeat. The weight of impending battle crushes their spirits. Each face reflects the grim reality of their hopeless situation. The air is thick with unspoken dread, a palpable sense of doom settling over the camp. Saul remains motionless, a statue of resignation amidst his terrified troops. In the tranquil hills of Bethlehem, David, a youthful shepherd, stands watch over his father's peaceful flock. The sheep graze calmly, their soft wool gleaming under the warm sun. David plucks a tender melody from his harp, filling the air with soothing harmonies. The music drifts gently across the hills, creating a serene symphony of nature and peace. Under the relentless sun of Bethlehem, David, a youthful shepherd, diligently watches over his flock. A fearsome lion erupts from the dense scrub, its predatory gaze locked onto an innocent lamb. David leaps into action, intercepting the lion's path, a fierce battle ensuing. Exhausted but triumphant, David stands tall, breathing heavily after defeating the lion with his bare hands. In the doorway of his home, Jesse stands, a map clutched tightly in his weathered hand. His face is etched with worry as he gazes upon his son David. With solemn eyes, Jesse speaks to his son. Take these supplies to your brothers at the battlefront. They need them. The weight of responsibility settles upon David as he looks back at his father. The worn map speaks of journeys and burdens. David arrives in the valley of Elah, the battlefield stretching before him under the vast sky. The ground trembles with Goliath's booming challenge, echoing across the valley, a sound that chills the soul. A fire of righteous anger ignites within David, his eyes burning with conviction. David prepares to confront the giant, determination etched on his face. In a forgotten corner of the world, young David stands, his gaze burning with defiance. His youthful face contorts with righteous anger. David's voice pierces the silence. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine to defy the army of the living God? His challenge echoes, daring any to oppose the divine. Amidst the Israelite camp, David, youthful and resolute, is led into the royal tent. The tent is filled with battle-hardened warriors, their eyes fixed on the newcomer. Before King Saul, David stands firm, his gaze unwavering. With youthful bravery, David declares, I volunteer to fight Goliath. King Saul listens intently, his expression a mixture of surprise and contemplation. The warriors murmur among themselves, taken aback by David's bold offer. In an unknown location, an overwhelming tension fills the air as a young figure faces a giant. The boy's face reveals determination, shadowed by a flicker of fear. A voice booms through the tense atmosphere. You are just a boy. You cannot fight this giant. The giant looms, a symbol of insurmountable odds. The boy steels his resolve, his eyes fixed on the giant. Within Saul's tent, young David stands, his spirit ablaze with the fire of a warrior. Sunlight streams through the tent's opening, casting a celestial glow upon their meeting. David recounts his trials, his voice resonating with unwavering conviction. I have faced both the lion and the bear, and the Lord delivered me from their paws. Saul listens intently, his face etched with concern, as David recalls his past victories. David's conviction intensifies, his voice echoing with unwavering faith. He who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine. The tent is filled with an atmosphere of anticipation as David's words hang in the air. Inside Saul's tent, a palpable tension fills the air as Saul labors to equip David with formidable armor. David stands still as Saul attempts to fasten the heavy armor, the weight of the metal pressing down on him. David shifts uncomfortably, the armor proving too cumbersome, hindering his movements. The armor, far too large, overwhelms the younger man. Beside a tranquil stream, David kneels, his focus absolute as he begins his task. He delicately chooses a stone, feeling its texture. He examines the stone closely, turning it over in his hand, a deep concentration etched on his face. Satisfied, he adds the stone to his small collection, each carefully selected. He pauses, seeking another perfect stone to complete his set. His search continues, a silent promise in each careful choice. In the valley, David moves with unwavering resolve toward the looming figure of Goliath. His hand grips his staff, sling ready, pouch full of stones. The tension in the air is palpable. The space between them narrows. The moment of confrontation draws near. David confidently strides towards Goliath. In the valley of Elah, Goliath's enormous figure dominates the scene, his bronze armor shimmering under the unforgiving sun. He casts a disdainful glance at an approaching figure, his eyes filled with contempt. Goliath's booming voice shatters the tense silence. Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks? His challenge echoes through the valley, a declaration of his perceived superiority and a taunt to his challenger. On the battlefield, two armies stand poised for conflict, the air thick with anticipation. A lone figure, David, emerges from the ranks, a young shepherd stepping into the eye of the storm. Before him looms Goliath, the giant warrior, a mountain of armor and weaponry. Unarmed but resolute, David confronts the giant, his spirit undeterred by the overwhelming odds. David's voice cuts through the silence. You come against me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel. The battlefield holds its breath, awaiting the clash between faith and might. In the valley between armies, David sprints with unwavering determination. He raises his sling, a youthful warrior ready to face his giant foe. The leather of the sling strains as he unleashes the stone with all his might. The stone hurtles through the air, a silent messenger of courage and destiny. In the valley of Elah, a stone begins its fateful journey, propelled with impossible force. The projectile accelerates, each rotation a harbinger of doom. Time slows as the stone hurtles towards its unsuspecting target. Goliath stands, unaware, as destiny closes in. The stone finds its mark with brutal precision, impacting Goliath's forehead. Silence descends as the giant begins to fall. The giant Goliath crashes to the earth, a thunderous echo resonating through the valley. Dust billows around the fallen giant, obscuring the battlefield. Silence descends, broken only by the distant cries of disbelief and shock. The army stand frozen, witnessing the impossible. A stillness settles over the valley as the impossible becomes reality. The era of giants ends with a resounding crash. Amidst the tense silence of the valley, David seizes Goliath's sword. The massive blade flashes in the sunlight as David raises it high. With a swift, decisive motion, he brings the sword down with terrible force. The valley echoes with a sickening thud as Goliath's head is severed. The giant's lifeless body collapses to the earth. David stands triumphant, the massive sword dripping in his hands. The Philistine army witnesses their champion fall, their ranks beginning to waver in disbelief. Panic erupts, shattering their battle formation as the Philistines turn to flee. A cloud of dust billows across the valley, a testament to their chaotic retreat. Screams of terror replace war cries, echoing through the valley as the Philistines scatter. The valley becomes a scene of utter disarray, the once proud army now a fleeing mob. In the valley, the Israelites' cheers explode, their voices echoing through the hills. The Israelites surge forward, a unified wave of relentless pursuit. Before the relentless surge, the Philistine army begins to fracture. The Philistine lines crumble under the fierce Israelite assault. Panic sets in as the Philistine army collapses, overwhelmed by the Israelite advance. The valley witnesses a complete rout as the Philistines scatter, their defeat absolute. Across the Philistine territory, the Israelites advance relentlessly, sandals kicking up the dust of the open land. The Philistines flee before them, their former strongholds now liberated under the bright, unforgiving sun. Fields and villages, symbols of oppression, are reclaimed, signaling a new dawn of freedom. The land breathes anew, echoing with the promise of liberation and the fading echoes of conflict. Torches blaze against the night sky, casting a warm glow across the Israelite camp where celebrations ignite. The air vibrates with song and dance as the Israelites celebrate their triumph, their joy, infectious. A hero emerges from the crowd as David is lifted onto the shoulders of the jubilant soldiers. The camp echoes with cheers as David is hailed, his name resonating through the celebrating throng. Shadows dance around the tents, mirroring the ecstatic movements of the celebrating Israelites. The night pulses with life and victory as the Israelites unite in a chorus of celebration. Under the radiant Israeli sun, women gather in jubilant circles, their voices soaring in celebration of David. Their colorful garments swirl like a vibrant tapestry, each thread a testament to David's bravery. The sunlight enhances their spirited dance, illuminating the joy in their faces. Their collective song rises, a powerful anthem honoring David's courage and triumph. The scene is bathed in a golden light, casting a halo around the women as they celebrate. Saul observes David. A subtle shift in his expression betrays a brewing envy. The admiration for David grows, casting a shadow of unease over Saul. Saul's eyes narrow, the first spark of resentment igniting within him. The atmosphere thickens with unspoken tension as Saul's jealousy deepens. Saul's gaze hardens, revealing the internal conflict consuming him. A silent battle begins within Saul as he grapples with his growing envy. Within Saul's palace, torchlight dances, painting the opulent interior with shadows as Saul, a figure of coiled resentment, prepares for the night. His face, a canvas of worry and dark resolve, reveals the turmoil within. Like a caged lion, Saul paces restlessly, his every step echoing his growing obsession. The torches flicker, mirroring the instability of Saul's reign and the deepening darkness of his intent. Saul's eyes burn with a dark intensity, plotting against David. Under the relentless sun of Israel, David's harp sings a gentle song, a desperate plea for calm. The music dances on the wind, a fragile attempt to soothe the turmoil within Saul. Long shadows stretch and sway, mirroring the troubled spirit of the king. The land witnesses David's devotion, a melody offered in hope against the gathering darkness. Tension fills the hall as Saul stands, spear in hand, his grip tightening with each passing moment. Unaware of the impending danger, David approaches Saul, stepping closer into the lion's den. A furious roar shatters the silence as Saul violently thrusts the spear toward David. With lightning reflexes, David narrowly avoids the deadly strike, a whisper away from fate. The spear finds its mark, not in flesh, but deep within the wall, a testament to Saul's rage and David's miraculous escape. The hall echoes with the sound of splintering wood, a stark reminder of the deadly intent that just unfolded. Dust explodes underfoot as young David tears across the wilderness, desperation driving his every stride. He risks a glance back, his youthful face etched with raw fear. The sun beats down on his back, each shadow a reminder of the royal guard's relentless pursuit. He is alone, an outlaw in his own land, his heart pounding a rhythm of survival. The arid landscape stretches endlessly before him, each grain of sand a testament to his isolation. Hunted and desperate, David continues his flight, a lone figure against the vast, unforgiving backdrop. Against the vast wilderness, David stands tall on a rocky outcrop, battling the fierce wind. His eyes scan the faces of the small gathering below, where hope and determination flicker in their expressions. The group below looks up, their hopes pinned on David's leadership. Hope mingles with resolve in the eyes of those who look up to him. Under the merciless sun, David and his men struggle through the desert, their faces etched with exhaustion. Each step is a testament to their resilience. As they push on, seeking refuge from the relentless heat, the arid landscape offers no comfort, only the promise of more hardship, yet they persevere. Finally, a glimmer of hope appears as they spot shelter among the rocks, a chance to escape the sun's fury. In the stark light of day, Saul's eyes reflect an unyielding determination, a clear window into his relentless pursuit. Driven by a singular, consuming purpose, Saul moves with a calculated precision, each step measured and deliberate. His mission is clear: to neutralize what he perceives as a significant and imminent threat. Every decision, every action is meticulously planned, leaving no room for error or deviation. The weight of his resolve is palpable, pressing down on him as he continues his focused advance. In his unwavering focus, Saul embodies a relentless force, unyielding in his pursuit of David. In the heart of the cave, the air stands thick and heavy. Saul lies in a deep, vulnerable sleep, unaware of the danger lurking close. David approaches with stealth, his hand hovering over his sword, the decision weighing heavily on his soul. The torchlight dances across Saul's face, highlighting his peaceful slumber, a stark contrast to the turmoil within David. A silent battle rages within David, torn between duty and mercy. In a profound act of defiance, David lowers his hand, rejecting the dark opportunity before him. Bathed in the golden light of day, the cave entrance reveals a moment of profound reckoning. David stands resolute before a visibly shaken Saul, holding forth a piece of the king's robe as proof of his mercy. "My lord, King Saul, see this piece of your robe. I could have taken your life in the cave, but I spared you." Tears well in Saul's eyes as he acknowledges the depth of David's righteousness. "Is that your voice, David, my son? You are more righteous than I. You have repaid me good, whereas I have repaid you evil." David solemnly declares, "The Lord will judge between you and me, but my hand shall not be against you." Inside Saul's tent, dust dances in the lone shaft of sunlight, illuminating Saul's weary figure as David stands tall before him. Saul acknowledges, "You are more righteous than I, David. You have repaid me good, whereas I have repaid you evil." Saul continues, "And you have declared this day how you have dealt well with me, in that, when the Lord delivered me into your hand, you did not kill me." Saul admits, "For if a man finds his enemy, will he let him get away safe? Therefore, may the Lord reward you for what you did to me this day." Saul's tone shifts with a heavy heart. "And now I know that you shall surely be king, and that the kingdom of Israel shall be established in your hand." With a plea born of desperation, Saul begs, "Therefore swear to me by the Lord that you will not cut off my descendants after me, and that you will not destroy my name out of my father's house." The air crackles with unseen tension, a storm gathering on the horizon of Saul's mind. A flicker of suspicion dances in his eyes, a silent prelude to the turmoil within. Paranoia tightens its grip, casting long shadows over his thoughts. The darkness descends, jealousy reclaims its throne, and the cycle begins anew. Under the relentless sun, the Philistines surge forward, a relentless tide of steel and rage. Saul, a towering figure, clad in armor, stands as a beacon of defiance, his presence commanding the battlefield. His voice, a thunderous roar, cuts through the chaos, galvanizing the Israelite army. The Israelite army stands firm, shields raised, eyes fixed forward, ready to meet the Philistines head-on. The battlefield roars with the brutal symphony of clashing steel, a grim testament to the day's violence. Amidst the carnage, Saul, king of Israel, stands wounded, his armor painted with the deep crimson of his own blood. Defeat looms, heavy and inevitable, as Saul surveys the devastation around him. Rather than be captured and humiliated by his enemies, Saul makes a fateful decision. A king's resolve hardens in the face of defeat, choosing dignity over disgrace. Inside the solitary tent, a single oil lamp casts long, dancing shadows, revealing the heavy solitude. David sits alone, his form slumped with grief, his face hidden from the world. His posture reflects the overwhelming weight of loss, the burden of sorrow etched into every line of his body. The air is thick with mourning, the silence broken only by the crackling of the lamp, a stark reminder of his desolation. Saul and Jonathan are gone, their absence a gaping wound in David's heart. Alone in the dimly lit tent, David is consumed by the crushing weight of his grief. Inside David's tent, grief and determination etch his face as sunlight streams through. David composed this lament for Saul and his son Jonathan, and ordered that the people of Judah be taught this song of the bow. How are the mighty fallen, O Israel, on your heights slain? How are the mighty fallen? Saul and Jonathan, loved and cherished, never parted in life or death, swifter than eagles, stronger than lions. Daughters of Israel, weep over Saul, who clothed you in scarlet and finery, who decked your garments with ornaments of gold. How are the mighty fallen, and the weapons of war destroyed? Under the vast sky, near Hebron, the tribe of Judah assembles, their banners dancing in the wind, painting a vibrant picture of unity and anticipation. Silence descends as Samuel emerges, horn in hand, the vessel brimming with destiny's promise. In a climactic moment, Samuel anoints David, the oil cascading down, marking the dawn of a new reign. The crowd witnesses history, their cheers echoing across the land, celebrating David as their rightful king. David stands tall, bathed in the symbolic oil, embodying the hope and future of his people. Inside the tent, David, the leader, sits at a table amidst tribal elders. Maps of the land are spread across the table, symbols of his strategic mind. He addresses his council with a tone of command, his words weaving resolve. David's firm gaze sweeps over the tribal elders. His voice echoes through the tent, each word a deliberate strike. Beneath the relentless sun, Jerusalem rises ancient, majestic, and now under David's command. Dust dances in the air as David surveys his prize, a testament to his victories. The warrior king stands tall, his army a silent sentinel behind him, battle-hardened and loyal. Jerusalem, bathed in golden sunlight, marks the culmination of David's long-fought ambition. Under the vast sky of Jerusalem, a grand procession begins its journey, moving with purpose and grace. David leads the way, a figure of unwavering strength, guiding his people towards their destiny. The Ark of the Covenant, draped in gold, proceeds with solemn reverence, carried by priests. The crowd lines the streets, their faces reflecting a mixture of awe and deep reverence. Every heart beats with anticipation as the procession advances, filling the air with palpable excitement. Jerusalem awaits, its ancient stones poised to witness a moment of profound significance. In the silent grandeur of his palace, David kneels, bathed in moonlight. Lord, my heart aches to build you a temple. It is not right. The air crackles, an unseen presence filling the chamber. A divine voice echoes. David, your hands stained with blood. It is not for you to build my temple. But Lord, your son, through him, my house will be established. David lowers his head, accepting the decree. Sunlight floods the throne room, where dust motes dance in the air. King David, an older man with a regal presence, sits upon his throne, his face etched with wisdom. Around him, advisors whisper, servants attend to duties, petitioners await judgment. The throne room bustles with activity, a testament to King David's 40-year reign. The atmosphere is one of prosperity and order, reflecting King David's successful rule. Under the vast Jerusalem sky, David stands, an aged ruler surveying his kingdom. His face, a canvas of time, tells tales of battles fought and victories won. Each line on his face reflects the weight of his crown and the burdens of leadership. Yet, in his eyes, a quiet peace shines, a testament to a life dedicated to serving God. He stands as a symbol of resilience, his gaze sweeping across the land he has protected. In the heart of Jerusalem, David embodies wisdom and devotion,